It is now time for a weekly countdown as we bring you the top 5 stories of the week. These are the biggest stories that matter most to Cebu and the region. I'm Dale Israel for the Freeman 5. Let's go to Bohol at number 5. It is business as usual at the provincial capital in Bohol, following the 6-month preventive suspension of their governor Aris Aumentado, along with 68 other government officials. The suspension order stemmed from the controversial Captain's Peak Resort, built right smack at the middle of the Chocolate Hills Natural Park, a regulated and protected area. People continue with their transactions at the capital in Tagbilaran City, and there are no disruptions to its operations. Meanwhile, the Captain's Peak Resort is still untouched in Sagbayan, Bohol. There are, however, no people around inside its premises, and the swimming pool has already turned algae green and murky because of lack of maintenance. The Bohol provincial government is still creating a review committee which will evaluate all developments to its 16 protected areas. At number 4. 2 of the 3 alleged robbers were killed in a shootout with policemen in Correlia Town, Bohol Province. One of them, however, managed to escape after the 3 robbed a student in Sikatuna Town. According to the police, the 3 were flagged during a hot pursuit operation, but they accelerated away. They were chased by Bohol policemen and later on tried to escape on foot through a grassy field where they engaged in a gunfight with authorities. Those killed were identified as Jonas Amen of Tagbilaran City and Ricky Gamo of Albuquerque Town in Bohol. The 3rd suspect who got away is still unidentified. Police believe that the 3 were involved in a series of robberies last month, including a gas station in Maribojoc, a convenience store in Tagbilaran, and another gas station in Dawis. Number 3. More than 374 million pesos worth of illegal drugs were burned on Thursday by the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency in Central Visayas. The inventory included 55 kilos of shabu, more than 2 kilos of marijuana, 53.41 ml of nalbuphine, 231 grams of ephedrine, and other illegal drugs. At least 4.1 kilos or 31 million worth of shabu from Bohol Province were also brought to Cebu City and was included in the burning. The destruction of illegal drugs was made with the permission from the courts and was burned using the cremation facility of a funeral parlor in Cebu City. The activity was witnessed by court representatives, policemen, civilian observers, and the media. This is the biggest destruction of illegal drugs for the past 7 years. The last burning activity was in October last year for illegal drugs worth 330 million pesos. At number 2. 6 people died after a motorized fishing boat exploded and burned off the waters in the city of Naga, Cebu, Wednesday night. According to the Philippine Coast Guard Cebu Station, 6 others were also rescued, including one that suffered 3rd-degree burns. Initial investigation reports showed that the explosion came from one of the 2 engines of the motor banca while they were repairing it. The ill-fated FB King Brian came from Kawayan Port in Masbate, headed to fishing grounds in the Visayas. They were also carrying 6 drums of diesel fuel and 3 LPG tanks. There were no traces so far if the fishing vessel was also carrying explosives or dynamites. The flames almost burned the boat to ashes except for a few wooden panels that remained floating when the Coast Guard extinguished the fire. The Coast Guard is still investigating as to why the explosion happened. And the top story of the week takes us to the majestic Canlaon volcano. The Canlaon volcano in Negros Island spewed a 5-kilometer plume of ash after an explosive eruption last June 3. Canlaon City declared a state of calamity and evacuated thousands of individuals to safety because of coarse ashfall and sulfurous odor in nearby communities. Entry into the 4-kilometer permanent danger zone is strictly prohibited, as well as flying any aircraft close to the volcano is not allowed. There was heavy downpour days after the eruption, and this resulted to lahar flow in several rivers in Canlaon City. Some streets are affected by lahar, while several vegetation are covered in ash. Problems with water supply were also reported after surface water sources are contaminated with sulfuric content from lahar. The national and local government already deploying resources to aid affected residents in Canlaon City. And those were the 5 top stories compiled from Cebu's news source since 1919. The Freeman is the country's longest-running regional newspaper and a member of the Philstar Media Group. Join us again next week as we count down the biggest stories that matter to Cebu and the region. I'm Dale Israel for the Freeman 5.